All right. Hey, good morning, class. I wanted to go over a few things today as far as where you should be at and what you're looking at. I want to talk, I'm going to start to pontificate about architects for a few minutes. So bear with me as I go through this. You guys are on your journey to creating and making this design for the 30-acre rec park out there. But I want you to know something about architects and even a little bit about engineers before you go. So, when I think about an architect is a highly educated, highly trained, and highly skilled individual. In order to achieve all of those things, they have studied a lot and they have done a lot of research in order to become the individuals that they are and to be able to create and design the things that they can design. So, if you think about an engineer, and we've got the specifications and the sizes of the fields that we can get. We have the size of the 30-acre rec site. So that's pretty simple stuff for the most part. So an engineer will take a look at that and say, okay, well, I've got 5 of these fields. They're all of this size, and I need to put them in this arrangement or that arrangement. And I've got this amount of land that I can kind of plunk those down in, and I can position that. And they might arrange it this way. Take a look. It's like, okay, so that's one way I could do it. They're going to redesign and put it another way. So the engineer is going to probably come up with 5, 6 different ways that they can put all of that stuff in there. But the architect takes a look at it and goes a little bit deeper. The architect wants to touch nature a little bit more. The architect really wants to create something brand new, something unique, something that totally kind of puts their spin on it and makes it a part of themselves. And in order to do that, they take inspiration from nature, inspiration from the modern world, inspiration from what others have done before, inspiration from modern architects and past architects. They take inspiration from new technology or technopunk, even. So, all of these things that they are in touch with and in tune that they have been looking at and researching and studying over the years of their career. So, today, even though we've started to kind of draw up some of the uh, different fields, and we're going to continue to do it, that's one of those skills you guys will all need to know how to draw in AutoCAD. And as we go through to draw all of these, each one of these fields, and what my goal is between the drawing of those fields is that you guys all become more competent in learning all of the different tools that we have at our command in AutoCAD so that we can take smaller pieces like a football field, and plunk it into a larger uh, plan, and then plunk that into a larger plan so that we can kind of build this as we go. But there's more to it. So you guys in your groups need to start to think a little bit outside the box. This is a time where you're going to get your creative juices and your design ideas flowing. So we want a lot more. So we want to see where we can take inspiration from. Now, with this particular plan, you guys have lots of uh, free reign to kind of put your mark on it. So I could give you all of the stuff that the uh, city has given me, and we can just kind of make some arrangements and change things around. But to me, that's not what an architect really does, or that doesn't go deep enough into architecture. We need to study some things. We need to look at a few of the other aspects of architecture. So today, you guys are still in the research and design phase for the planning phase for this particular project. Remember, we're going out many, many classes with this. This isn't just a one and done. We've got lots of different areas to go. So, with that in mind, today I'm going to have you guys do some more research. So, I've got some pictures I'm going to kind of post for you, some pictures of other parks around the nation and around the world. And I want you guys to do some research on seeing what other architects or what other cities have done in their area. So you guys have all been up to Chicago, or most of you have been to Chicago up there and stood around the beam, up there in Robert Daly Park. So seeing how that was laid out and seeing how the designers and the architects for that particular civil engineering project kind of laid that out. So study that a little bit. Go up, do some research, look into some of those things that are up there around Chicago and in some of the parks. See how they went that. See where you can get some inspiration. New York City. Uh, some of you have been out to New York City with the band. So go out to some of the parks in New York City. Take a look and see how they did that. Other cities, St. Louis has beautiful parks down around the St. Louis Zoo, and all of these are neat areas where people can go and enjoy certain aspects of daily living. They all have an architectural mark on it. So do some research there. At the same token, think of other historical places. I mean, Monticello was named after Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. So maybe do some research on Monticello and see some of the landscaping and the architecture that Thomas Jefferson put in. Maybe even go with Washington and Mount Vernon. Um, uh, the sky's the limit here as you guys go through and do this. Don't just leave it here in the United States. Go over to uh, England, to some of the different areas of England, say perhaps the Tower of London, uh, not necessarily probably the most architecturally significant of all the places in London, but Piccadilly Square is another place in London. Go to Paris, where the Louvre is. There's lots of inspiration. Even if you go to Spain, Germany, Portugal, uh, all sorts of places around the world that you can go. You don't necessarily have to stick with just Western world parts. The Japanese influence has a lot of influence on architecture and the way we design and build. So do some research on styles in Japan, styles in China, styles in Laos, in Thailand, even styles in India. And of course, if you get into some of the other areas, the Turks and the Ottoman Empire were also very, very influential. So look at some of the geodesic domes that were inspired there in Russia and Turkey and some of those countries as well. So look through all of that, study some of it, research it, use that to generate some designs and some ideas and get your creative juices flowing on how you want to put your group's own authentic mark on this park that we're going to put here in this little town in central Illinois. Think big, so don't think small. Think outside the box, be as creative as you can, study some of these designs and incorporate that into your overall design as we go. So today, again, research all of this. I'll have a PowerPoint there for you to kind of look over and get some ideas with, and then you can do your own research to try to get inspiration from other areas as well. I even think about, some of this. There are people in the world that are paid to be what's called futurists. They imagine what the world will look like in the future, not so much now. So I even sit there and you guys know that I'm a big science fiction fan. So, and when you think about the way different worlds and outer space have been kind of designed, somebody creatively thinks about that. So that's could be part of what you install here in this design as well. So go ahead and take a look, do the research, get your idea plans. Of course, there's also going to be time. We got to get these other drawings done. So there's going to be some other videos of me showing you how to draw some of the CAD football fields or some of the other things, and using different tools that I'm going to slowly introduce you to on how to use some of the other tools that are available to you in AutoCAD. I won't be available today, so I'm sorry, but I am looking forward to next week when we can get back together. to see what you've done. And of course, if you do have any questions, uh, go ahead and shoot me an email, and I will be glad to answer those for you. You guys have a great day. Think outside the box, be as creative as you can.